All right, hey everyone, it's December the 16th, the year 2016, and I got this Core Links email from Edward Brown, who's already spent 9 years in prison. His release date isn't until 2045. So I think that a man who's already spent 9 years in prison and is facing another 30 years, he's in his 70s, so he'll die in prison, be 102 or 103. I think his emails are worth reading. That's just my opinion. You see up here on the date. Now I don't know if that's the date that he wrote it or the date that it came into me, because what I call the Snoop Waffa, and I'm not the one who originated that term, they have to check everything that comes to me. So I have had messages that have been denied, but for some reason this was allowed to come through. And I don't know what the delay is. Sometimes the delay on these emails is 1 day, sometimes it's 3 days, depending on if it's a weekend, depending on if the guy that's responsible for reading the emails, is off work that day. So we just take what we can get. But he writes about the CMU, and I'm always interested in the CMU, so let's read what Mr. Ed Brown has to say. Dear Mr. Davis, I saw this at the CMU, which stands for Communications Management Unit. For those of you that don't know, that is a secret prison you've never heard of. It's a prison within a prison where they torture political dissidents. It's run by the CIA and or a private contractor, so they are not open to FOIA requests. And when I say they torture political dissidents, I mean exactly what I say. I saw this at the CMU. At each federal facility, there is a section called the SIS, Special Investigative Service Unit, and an SSS. But then he says it stands for Special Administrative Service. Maybe he means SAS. They are both attached to the SHU, Special Housing Unit, a prison within a prison. At Marion, USP, United States Prison, FCI, Federal Correctional Institute, CMU, Communications Management Unit, it becomes a prison, Marion within a prison, the CMU within a prison, within the CMU. You will never see a plant within the CMU. I guess he means a plant like a God-created plant, like God created the heavens and the earth and the plants that grow on the earth. You'll never see a plant within the CMU. I read a write-up one time about the CMU, and they called it a sanitized version of hell. We call the CMUs Guantanamo North. The SIS, Special Investigative Service, investigates infractions within the entire facility, while the SAS appears to be the punishment service. When they attempted to murder me, when I was first brought into the system in Central Falls, Rhode Island, the SIS casually brushed off my claim in a 5-minute questioning session. Every formal complaint that I have filed over the last 9 years has been ignored. There is no administrative remedy. BP asterisk exclamation exclamation. P is not near the keyboard letter S. So I don't know, what do you think it means that? Bureau Prison exclamation exclamation, or I was thinking maybe he meant BS, but S and P are not even close together. They're on opposite sides of the keyboard. Sometimes he does typos, so what do you think BP asterisk means? Process. I have sent out over the years numerous filings to escrow waiting for suit. Even here, I notified the captain of the Special Housing Unit, Special Investigative Service, and the warden each month for 1 year that I needed help trying to file an attempted murder, torture, and abuse charges, and I never once heard from him or was any investigation ever done. The SOP, Standard Operating Procedure, for the current U.S. administration on any issue. The standard operating procedure for the current U.S. administration on any issue regarding their errors or infractions is to go silent and ignore all complaints. This works very well. The staff, this works very well, the staff, but it becomes deadly for the inmates, as history has shown us firsthand. I can count nearly being killed on 8 separate occasions and denied all redress of grievance. The mail, when it is delayed, such as you have seen, is reviewed by the SIS and held. If it is harmful, it is supposed to be returned to the inmate, and they will get a shot. I think he means a shot as a disciplinary action. I would suspect that an FBI agent will be the ones to check out the mail, as they should. However, when I sent my request for an investigation to them, they went silent, totally, even to DC. There is no accountability for any of the staff. They are always right, even when they clearly torture or abuse the inmates. And that dear friend is of record. Fortunately, on the street. There is much, much more to all this, but I am not able to expand too much. I make sure that all my mail is within the bounds of the law, but I will be absolutely honest and direct with all information. If any of my mail or communications are stopped, it will be because someone on the staff is blocking lawful due process. God bless Edward Lewis. And then he puts his Yahweh thing. All right, there you go. That's Ed Brown writing as best as he can about the subject of CMU from Core Links. I have a ton of questions about the CMU. I have a ton of questions about 4-point shackling. I have a ton of questions about sleep deprivation, temperature deviations from hot and cold, toilet water freezing, maggots in the food, mold on the food, torturous, long sentences of isolation for no apparent reason, Chinese thought reform, as outlined on page 73 of Let Freedom Ring, edited by Matt Meyer, that specifically mentions Marion Prison. I have a ton of questions that I would like to ask Mr. Ed Brown about CMU, but I'm only hesitant because if I go too deep into that hot topic, I'm afraid they'll cut off my Core Links with him, and I don't want to ruin my open line of communications with Mr. Ed Brown. But obviously these guys are hiding something. These CMU prisons, they're political prisons on American soil, not run by our government, but by a private contractor, not open to FOIA request, and these political prisons need to be shut down. Absolutely. All prisons need to be shut down. We need to go back to biblical forms of punishment. All right, God bless.